Welcome, everyone. So if you're in the weeds building or auditing an information security management system, you know just how critical those first few clauses are. Get them wrong, and the whole thing can feel like it's built on sand. Today, we're not just reading clauses 1, 2, and 3 of ISO/IEC 27001. We're going to really dig into what they mean strategically. Let's get right into it.
So here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll talk about the why behind the standard. Then we'll get into the super important idea of scope. After that, we'll look at the one document that serves as our source of truth and why using the official language isn't optional. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with the key takeaways you need to have locked in.
All right, so what's the big idea here? What's the whole point of the standard? Well, it's really about getting us to move away from just reacting to problems with security tools, firewalls, antivirus software. Instead, it pushes us towards a proactive, risk-based system. The whole goal is to build a solid, repeatable framework to protect your information. That's not just good for security, it's absolutely essential for keeping the business running smoothly.
And that leads us straight into Clause 1, which is all about defining the scope. This is where you draw the lines in the sand for your ISMS. And it's not just about who it applies to, it's also about what it demands from you from start to finish throughout the entire life of the system.
Now, this quote from the standard, this is absolutely crucial. It's telling us that this framework is generic on purpose. And that's not a bug, it's a feature. It means whether you're a tiny two-person startup or a massive global corporation, the principles are exactly the same. The real art is in how you adapt the implementation to fit your specific organization and its risks. That's what makes it so incredibly powerful.
And this is the engine of the ISMS. Establish, implement, maintain, and continually improve. For anyone doing this work, the key thing to get is that this is not a one-and-done project. It's a never-ending cycle. You might recognize it as the old plan, do, check, act model. And that last step, continually improve, is honestly what separates a checkbox-compliant ISMS from one that's actually effective. It has to be a living, breathing thing.
Okay, and this is a huge point from Clause 1 that you can't miss. It's non-negotiable. If your organization claims it conforms to the standard, you're signing up for the whole thing. You can't just cherry-pick the requirements you like from clauses 4 through 10. If you try to exclude something, boom, your claim of conformity is invalid. It's an all-in commitment, which is why getting that scope right from day one is so important. Now let's shift gears to Clause 2. As you know, in compliance, the words we use have to be precise. This clause looks super simple. It's just one sentence. But wow, is it important. It points to a single authoritative source for all the vocabulary, so there's absolutely no room for guessing games or misinterpretation.
And here it is. That normative reference is ISO/IAC 27000. This is so critical. It means that the definitions you find in 27000 aren't just suggestions. They are binding. They are the rules when you're implementing 27001. This is what stops us from arguing over what words like risk or asset or control actually mean. It's the official dictionary for the entire ISMS universe.
So Clause 3 naturally follows from that. You could say that if Clause 2 points you to the dictionary, Clause 3 tells you that you must use it. It says, flat out, that the terms and definitions from ISO/ISOC 27000 apply, period. This is all about making sure we're all speaking the same language. Your internal team, your managers, your external auditors, everybody.
And this is the practical side of things. The source is ISO/ISOC 27000, but you don't have to keep a paper copy on your desk. These are the online resources you need to know about: the ISO online browsing platform and the IEC Electropedia. Seriously, if you're a practitioner, just go ahead and bookmark these right now. They're lifesavers when you need to quickly check a term during an audit or an implementation.
All right, let's bring it all together. What have we really learned from these first 3 clauses? These aren't just boring administrative details. They are the fundamental pillars that hold up the entire ISMS. If you don't get these right, you're going to have a tough time with everything that comes after in clauses 4 through 10. So here they are, the 3 pillars. First, universal scope. The standard is made for everyone, but there's no picking and choosing what you comply with. Second, the continual improvement cycle. Your ISMS is never done. It's a living system that's always evolving. And third, the primacy of ISO/IEC 27000. We all use the same dictionary to avoid confusion. Get these 3 concepts down, and you've got the foundation you need for a rock-solid implementation.
So that leaves us with a really important question, doesn't it? When you know these are the ground rules, a flexible scope, no exclusions allowed, and a required dictionary, what's the very first practical thing you have to do? Well, the answer is you have to understand your own organization. And that's exactly what Clause 4, context of the organization, is all about, which is right where we'll pick things up next time. Thanks for joining me.